You know, now that I think about it, my channel just really seems like a channel where I just vlog about what I've made in my video game and I don't actually teach anything. But I promise there is a tutorial in the works. Now last week I tried to make it, I tried to tweet about it and be like, you know what, I'm going to do this tutorial anyways, and then my footage got corrupted at like 11 o'clock at night, and I mean I have to refilm it, and it just wasn't going to work out. And unfortunately I'm going to have to push it back again because this week I am getting my wisdom teeth out, and I know that I will be completely unable to make a tutorial for Saturday. So I'll try to have a tutorial out next week. I'm still trying to get into the workflow of working on two things at once, like working on my video game and also working on tutorials. So I'm just kind of learning, just give me some slack, and I promise I will try to come out with a new tutorial next week. But anyways, hey guys, what's up? This is JRP77 from JG Games, and welcome to VGSS episode 4. So basically what we did in the last video, what did I do in the last video? All we did last week was we made a player movement system. Now one of the problems was that there was a very big flaw with it, and that is because it was solely changing the position, we couldn't do collisions accurately. And if we want to do something like where if the player gets hit, he gets knocked back and he flies backwards with gravity involved, then we weren't going to be able to do that either. So what I did was I changed the entire movement system over to a new rigid body, and it works pretty good now. It took me forever, but I finally figured it out. I had to change some stuff with some variables, and by moving around some elements in the script, I was finally able to get the player movement script working with the new rigid body component. And then on top of that, as the title suggests, we added a whole lot of new mechanics. I worked like twice as hard this week than I did last week. So let's just go over briefly what I did. First of all, we added a health system. Now what it is that when the player runs into the enemy's attack zone, he takes damage, and that damage variable is defined on the enemy. So this allows us to do some cool things where like we can have one enemy can take 2 damage and one enemy can do 1 damage, etc, etc. And I've intentionally set up a lot of these scripts that you'll see in this way for expandability, because these are just base mechanics. So then when we start building the map, it will be expandable and we can just add on new things so that it doesn't mess up. And so that we also don't have to go and like recode the entire thing, because that would suck. And then we added an attack system. So now when you hit a key, right now it's spacebar, but we're going to change it to like a mouse key. The weapon moves across the player from right to left. It's pretty basic. It doesn't do any damage to the enemy yet because I haven't set up enemy health yet and how that's going to work out. But it's a start. It actually animates, and I haven't had to do any animating yet, which is really nice. I am not very good at animating myself. I am more of a programming guy, so if there is any way I can animate using programming, that is very helpful. And then finally, the thing I am most proud of, the new enemy AI. I spent maybe 2 days solely on this, working day and night. I'm just really proud of it. I mean, it's not something that I really have done before. I've never really gotten to where I can make an artificial intelligence like this, and to see something come together like my enemy did, it was just really satisfying. So like I said earlier, a lot of these scripts are designed for expandability, and the enemy AI is one of them. Basically, the way it works is it finds the distance between all of the different waypoints that I set up. And there's a waypoint in each of the 4 corners of the map. And these are just simple empty game objects. I'm only using the transform component on them, and it makes it really easy as far as editing where the waypoints are instead of actually doing math with vectors. And then we assign the points in the inspector as this variable that I've called patrol points. Then what happens is it checks to find the distance between all of the points. So right now the enemy is in the upper left-hand corner of the grid. Therefore, the closest waypoint should be at the top left corner of the screen. But how do we tell the script which one it is? And so the way I did it was I had to do some math where basically I made a variable that I set to an outrageous number. So basically it runs the numbers through the function. It does this by storing it in a temporary variable, and then what it does is it sees if that number is less than 50. And if it is less than 50, then we set that variable that was equal to 50 to the new minimum distance. And then it goes to the next one. And if that one's less, then it sets that one as a new one. And then once it finds all of the distance and it finds the shortest distance to the next waypoint, what it does is it searches the list for the index of that object in the list. And then, once it finds the object in the list, because the index of objects and the index of all the numbers, because they're the exact same, if the distance is stored in item 1, then it knows that item 1 in the patrol points, all those transform objects that we added, it knows that that's the same thing. And so then I just tell the nav mesh agent to just go to that point. And then after that, whenever it gets close enough to that point, it simply switches to the next one. And it does this in a counterclockwise manner. So that's the enemy AI feature. It has a chase feature where if the player steps near, then it chases them, but it's really buggy right now because I used one function for the chase system, then I used a completely different function for movement for the patrol feature, and now now I'm trying to counteract them, and they're kind of like pulling on two ends of a rope, so it doesn't really work right now. And that's really my only bug with the whole system, is that the chase feature is pretty buggy. But I'm working on that, and that's one of the things I'm working on this week. Oh, and I almost forgot, we did add a scene switcher so that when you walk towards a building, it just switches to a new scene, and I'll show a quick clip of that. It's not that complicated of a script. That's not the thing. I've made it so that it's expandable. So now I can put this scene switcher on any object I want, and I can comfortably switch scenes very easily. So that's what I did this week, but now what are we going to do next? Well, the main priority right now is getting the chase feature to work so that the enemy can chase the player and like do damage to him. So I guess a broader term is just like finish the enemy AI. It won't be completely perfect yet because I'm not done with the game yet, but hopefully by the time I get the game finished, it will be a almost perfect product. The other thing is with the attack system. Now currently the weapon just sits on the top of the player, but if you've played games like Zelda, if you move to the left, it kind of turns the player so that he's always moving forward, but the character is just turning. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to change it to where whenever he hits the left key, then it's attacking on the left side. Whenever he hits the right key, it's attacking on the right side, and just stuff like that. Some little tweaks and stuff that'll make the game feel and work a lot better. And then the third thing is just start designing the map. I think I said that last week that I was gonna start designing the map, but this time I really mean it. Like, we're getting close to the point where we're almost done with most of the mechanics. But we're getting really close with the mechanics. Then we just need to add in some design, add in a story, add in some music, stuff like that, but that comes later down the line. The main focus right now is getting all of the main programming done. We can always tweak stuff later, but I want to get all of the main stuff done before we actually get into designing and making our game look good. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If this video sucked, then you know what to do, but if it didn't, drop a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. Don't forget to check out our website, social media, and merch, as well as our community Discord server. All of those links will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.